Hey everyone, welcome to Ask Shane B. I'm Jeremy Jaquia, here with Shane Barnard from Shane and Shane. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Great.
Awesome. Good to be here.
So
We're back.
good. We're doing
back
this.
in the rhythm.
We're back doing this thing right now, right here.
Here we are.
Come on.
This is where we are.
This is a great question.
Really good question. This says, hey, how would you handle someone who wants to play drums in the worship band, but just isn't experienced enough to play? I don't want to discourage their love for music, but it's also hard to lead worship when there is so much distraction by being off rhythm. That's from Trent.
Great question.
It's a good question.
This is one we know. We all know this. We all ask the same question.
Jeez. None taken, man.
Jeremy's a drummer for those of you who are just joining us.
Yeah, right. Not known.
Is it arching or arcing?
I think I say arcing, but I don't know if it's right.
Two overarching thoughts are coming to my mind right now.
Send us an email if that's wrong.
One is what to do on a practical sense, like how to develop this person. The other one, so how to develop their craft. And then the other one would be how to develop their heart. And which is sort of our mission statement in a roundabout way. And so let me talk about the heart first.
We happen to have two sections of our website called craft training and heart training.
Right.
Check them out.
Yeah. I do not want to discourage their love for music, but it's hard to lead in worship when there's so much distraction beyond rhythm. Okay, we'll talk about the distraction. I totally agree. And the first thing I thought of is that discouraging their love for music might be the best thing you can do. Welcome to Ask Shane B. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Thanks for joining. If this person's love for music is anywhere close to getting in front of their love for Jesus, then the most loving, the best thing, it's the thing that this person wants. They want to be pruned in a way that they can say with Paul, I consider all things, including music, as rubbish compared to knowing Christ Jesus, my Lord. And that doesn't have to, that's not just for Paul or your pastor. That is for your drummer. And so this could be a really great discipleship thing and a discipleship moment where you walk with this brother or sister and you just go, as the offense rises when you say, not only are you not experienced enough, but you're not good enough. And as the heat rises in there, like go into that with prayer and prepare your heart and have those conversations. But let the Holy Spirit, definitely engage all the more relationally and to say, we have a lot of places that you can serve, one, in the meantime, because that's what this is all about. It's about serving the bride of Christ. We just in the last episode read 1 Peter 4, I think it was. What was it? 1 Peter 7 through 11, that you can refer back to that scripture. I mean, if you've been given a gift, it is exclusively designed to serve the church to the glory of God. And if that is a rub when you go, I don't think you're ready. Well, yes, I am. My mom, what do you mean I'm the best drummer? I was first year. How could you say that? How could you even, as all of that rises, it's just an opportunity to come around them and just love them with the truth of God and to root out the idols that are keeping them from knowing Jesus. And I need that, and he needs that, and Trent, you need that. You need to have those people in your life that are reminding you, oh man, let it go. Let your just your clenched fists around that. Just let them go, and enjoy the richest of fare, the richest of foods. You're not. You're just lapping up mud puddles, and it's just not working for you. You play the drums to music with headphones and play video games, and man, you could be enjoying the fellowship of God
Mm.
on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, and like lead them into the depths of knowing God.
Mm.
And so that would be, and we're here to help you in that. And so we
Sure.
have resources there.
Yeah, I mean those conversations are an incredible diagnostic. Like, because when you are actually willing to have that hard conversation, to say out loud, where you're at right now is not good enough to play this role in the church. Either you're going to get what you just said, all the laundry list of why he believes he's good enough and fights for his spot on the stage, which is then leads you down a whole path of discipleship and shepherding. Or it reveals a soft heart and someone who desperately wants to serve with faithfulness and authenticity and where they're needed and where their gifts will be used best. And if that's the case, then you've got a really cool opportunity to not feel like I've got to admonish or kind of try to win over to the high role of serving the church in whatever capacity it is, if it's worship or somewhere else in the church. But you get the chance to go, okay, so I'm telling you this now because it can't be this role right now, but I want to come alongside you and equip you or help you or give you things to work on so that maybe you could, and you're not having to, maybe worry about the like if it's these deep rooted, I just want to be on stage issues. But if your drummer is really just longing to serve in whatever way, you've got a great opportunity to come alongside him in a really practical way to say, hey, you know what? Like we're going to simplify everything that we do musically or whatever. Or I want you to simplify everything you're trying to pull off on that drum set. And I want you to focus on, can you hit that bass drum on the downbeat? Can we just do just the downbeat every time? Can you just show me that you can do that? And you can just show me that you can hit the snare drum on beat 2 and 4. Can you do that with nothing else? And then show the sufficiency of that can be totally great and that can totally serve the moment and serve the song and serve the body. But yeah, I mean, it both of that conversation in general, like you said, discouraging the love for music in light of what should be their love for exalting Christ, serving the body.
Yeah.
And then gives you a great diagnostic of where they're at and what your next step should be. So at first you have to be willing to say the words out loud to the person with a loving heart, and you have to be willing to engage relationally in a way where that's going to be received and believed and trusted by you.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a lot going on here. So there's this has a lot to do, Trent, with your walk and how you're living and your just commitment to community, and a lot of times those conversations go really well when you lead with a limp and tell them the ways that you're still growing and learning and failing and all of that. And so, but it is such an amazing opportunity that a lot of us miss out on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of worship leaders miss out on those kinds of conversations. And to move into the craft training, I would say now's the time to have that. Like, don't go another Sunday or Wednesday or whatever it is by somebody playing off rhythm. I wouldn't. I just don't think that's worth it. We had one time, just a story came to mind. We had a Joey Parrish was our drummer for almost a decade. He's just so solid. Now he makes our drums. Paris drums, y'all.
Thanks.
That,
ParisDrums.com.
that we travel with anyway. Now Jeremy plays when he comes out, and he couldn't come. I mean, it was one of the 3 times in a decade that he wasn't with us. He couldn't come, and then it was like, man, we'll just play acoustic. It's cool. I mean, I used to sing and play the guitar alone, and it was fine. And and he's like, no, that's a long shot, but I have this guy that's, if he can do it, I mean, you're gonna probably want to hire him and fire me. Um, and it was a guy he's probably in the top 10 best drummers of all time, like in the world's eyes. Come to find out, and he showed up, and we were at this a Christian college. There's 2,500 people in an auditorium, and we'd practiced a little bit, and I kind of got a little nervous during rehearsal, and it was horrible. It went so bad. I felt like this guy learned to play the drums yesterday, and our tempo sped up 15 beats per minute on every, and it was so. I'm not joking. I'm telling you, if you were to look at a list of the 10 best drummers, I think he would be on the list in the world, not the Christian world, but just in the world. And then we had 2 more shows. We were in a bus, and so we went to him, and we're like, brother, we're still going to pay you, but we're just going guitar style. And so he
Wow.
So one of the best drummers in the world rode along with us on the bus
And didn't play
anything.
Wow.
Because it just wasn't worth the distraction of we're trying to accomplish something, and it was just, I couldn't go on.
Yeah.
And so I would just say, funny story. We've made amends since. He's played on records. I mean, like since. I mean, I don't even know what happened in that moment. But I'm just saying, if something is distracting you from your mission, and distracting the body from the simplicity of, Colossians 3:16, singing songs and hymns together in your heart with gratefulness to God, then now's the time. So it's not later, it's not next week, it's not, now's the time to do that. And you don't need drums to pull Colossians 3:16 off. You don't, all you need is someone willing to lead some songs together. And so that would be, we have a lot of resources. We're about to launch soon. Haven't formally announced it yet, but
here we go.
We're about to launch learning paths. That will be a whole new development side of our website that you can put this person on a drum learning path, and Jeremy Jakewell will walk him through all the things he needs to know to pull that off. And he might get through 20 classes of a learning path and still not be able to play on beat. And at that point, man, he just needs to jump into the, be a counselor in the youth ministry, or jump on the missions team, or maybe be a singer, or I don't even know where he goes from there. But that's where you have all the really good stuff of discipling this young man or this young lady's heart in Jesus, because that's the most important thing. So.
That's awesome. And I mean, obviously this applies to any instrument. This isn't just drummers or whatever. I mean, especially if your church, we get this question a lot sometimes too, and I think it just totally applies here, of if your church holds auditions for your bands to try to identify people in your body that want to serve. And man, you get the person that comes to audition and it's very clear they're not ready, or it's going to be a distraction, but they're very much convinced that they are the Lord's answer for your worship team. Mm-hmm. And so how do you have those conversations? And again, the overarching principle here is that these conversations are a must. Whether you're doing auditions and how you follow up after an audition that goes poorly, or whether it's just you've had somebody serving in your band and it's every time you're playing, you're distracted and the band's distracted and the body is distracted. The conversations just have to happen. That's part of your role as a leader. And like we said at the beginning of this, you're not loving your brothers and sisters by not having those conversations. And you're not serving the body by not having those conversations. And it's just a really great opportunity to, again, you have the opportunity to hold really highly the value of what the role of a worship leader is and what it is not. And when you are constantly putting that vision in front of your band and in front of your church, it becomes a lot easier to have those conversations because you're talking about, hey, what's our role? What's the value of this role? It is to serve and to and not to have an outlet to play, not to just, finally get on a stage because my band was never good enough to play real gigs. It's to serve the body and exalt Jesus. And these conversations not only provide a great, like we said, diagnostic in those moments, but also give you the opportunity to make sure you are conveying that constantly and holding firmly to that principle that we are just, God doesn't need any of us. He doesn't need us to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. He's just chosen to allow us to be a part of what he's wanting to do in that moment with that group of people. And if we can't get excited about that reality, because if you can't execute on that as a leader because your drummer's playing off rhythm, like he's not serving the body, and that's a reason to talk about it. And so,
Yep. Just an application
Yep.
that we have done in your shoes briefly is we did a 6-week pipeline at our church. And this could be something, because you could narrow it down to 4 weeks or 6 weeks, that you could bring in people. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, you put a click track on, there's a drummer over here at this place, or this place that they're amazing and they're going to nail it. They're going to, what you're looking for, they have the answers to. And you bring, we had a coach for every instrument, and we brought them in. And then we had, our church is a larger church, and we were taking people that were already serving. So it's kind of like this. To some degree, they were already serving, and we filled 3 bands worth. So we had 3 bands worth of drummers, 3 bands worth of bass players, keys players, electric players, acoustic players, leaders, harmony singers, the whole thing.
Yep.
And then we had a coach sitting out and listening to them as they played through a song that they all learned through the worship initiative. So they all had no excuse. They went to the worship initiative. They learned their part. They have the video of their part, their harmony, their electric, their drums, their bass, whatever. So they all came prepared, and then they got a chance to play it. We assigned them into bands, and then you have these people. So we in particular, we had a drummer who was he had gotten this kind of feedback as he had been serving in different areas for a couple of years of like, bro, I don't, it's like you're losing us on the click. You're not holding down the rhythm. When you do a fill, it's kind of going, and this particular person could smoke all of our drummers as far as facilities concerned.
Yep.
So it's like, if you just put on a camera on YouTube and just let them do a drum solo, you're like, oh my gosh, who do you play for?
Right.
And, but when it comes to the fundamentals of playing the drums, of just we need you to just play a simple groove on beat, he just couldn't do it at that point. And so we, when we would listen back, we would have the click track coming through the house, so all coaches could hear everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so the bands would play a song, and then all the coaches would go up and they would critique and say, here's what you did great. Here's what you did that needs some work. And and everybody could hear. So there was no hiding anymore. It's not mom telling you that you're great, and it's a humble thing to do.
Sure.
And it's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And then they got a chance to play it again, and we saw some really, really great results when Jeremy could go up to that drummer and just say, bro, the whole room heard it, and you're just rushing. In fact, you skipped a beat. Like a click went by and you went to the next one. And it was just a mess there for like 7 seconds. It was just a mess. And he could just coach him and just say, this is what I want you to think about this time when you play it. Simply, I just want you to think, let me listen to your mix. Let me put your headphones on. What are you listening to? And just get into the details of like, what is the reason why you've played the drums for a decade, but you're having a hard time just sticking with the click. And he just got to walk with him for 6 weeks through that, and he made a lot of progress. And that's what we're going to be doing online, through Learning Paths. But that's something you could do, of just take a month, take 6 weeks, take 8 weeks, whatever you think, and it's really fun. It's
amazing.
It develops like community inside of your team, and it's a place where like honesty becomes a really good thing, feedback becomes a really good thing and a helpful thing. You get reps by going, here, I'm going to be exposed, somebody's going to tell me how to be better, and I'm going, oh, okay, I know that, and it's just really helpful. So that's just one thing that you could do and implement, just a simple pipeline where you bring in people to help you,
and it just gives you a low consequence moment.
Yeah.
To like give them the chance to really think through it, give you the chance to really evaluate it, and you're not doing it in the context of actually leading a service.
Yes.
So it's just like the consequence is non-existent.
Yeah.
You're just able to talk purely about that, about how you're executing, and you don't have to worry about like, gosh, but to give them a chance means to sacrifice how the service goes. Yeah. And so it's great to create opportunities like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Trent, hope that's helpful for you guys and everybody listening. Again, have the hard conversations, y'all. Press into the stuff that you don't want to press into, because it is how you are going to find freedom from a lot of stuff you shouldn't be bogged down by. And it's how you guys are how everybody, all of us are constantly being more and more faithful with what God has given us to do. So we hope it's helpful for you. We love you. We're praying for you. Send your questions in to askShaneB@worshipinitiative.com. And we will see you next time.
See y'all.